hopefully we'll be able to close this down soon. Fine. Rusty Davis warns, fighters coming with gay rights rapidly getting worse. Well, yes, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And gay marriage is going to be repealed and sent back to the states in America, right? It's not going to be a federal right anymore. That's going away. I told you that was going to happen a year ago. And you know why, Russell? You know why? Because you fuckwit morons had to push and push and push and push and push until everybody just says, shut the fuck up. You should have stopped before the drag queen story hour, frankly. But no. We had to put, get into, was it idealizing children, cutting bits of their bodies, right? Surgically altering themselves to make themselves feel natural, right? Yeah, sick shit, right? And you, all the way through Doctor Who, you pushed it and you pushed it and you pushed it. And most people have turned around and said, okay, this is what, LGBTQ plus is. I want no part of it. Right? For good reason. Right? You tried to normalize stuff that was degenerate shit. Right? By degenerate shit, what do I mean? Here, do I have it over here? I think. Oh man, this drive takes so long to open up. Doink. No, not that one. It's under the. Oh, here we go. Doink. I have a whole gay folder. I call it LGBTQIA. Right? I don't know. Okay, yeah, I like this, for example. Is it coming? Did it open up? Yeah. What consenting adults do in private is fine and nobody minds, right? But when you make Doctor Who all about being trans, stop, right? It's again, and who do you hurt? Ultimately, it's gay people, right? Yes, the fight's coming with gays rapidly getting worse. Gay marriage is going bye-bye, right? Somebody has submitted something to the Supreme Court to overturn the law, and it looks like that's probably going to happen 4-2, right? Award-winning screenwriter, best known for reviving Doctor Who on BBC TV. Well, not according to him. We'll get back to that in a minute. And Ryan Jennifer it's a sin and queer as folk. Doctor Who, and by the way, did you notice, Russell? Nobody had any problem in the original run with Captain Jack, or nobody has any problem with anybody being gay, right? It's being relentlessly having values that most people do not ascribe to rubbed in your face, right? If you had Christianity constantly rubbed in your face, which I know you felt you do, but you don't, you'll be upset about it too. Dr. Shomron Rusty Davis has warned there is a fight is coming because the gay rights are rapidly and urgently getting worse. Well, again, gay marriage is going, but the award-winning screenwriter, best known for Doctor Who sci-fi series, who gained in 2008, gained promise of 9 writing Queer as Folk, a program about 3 men living in Manchester's gay village. Davis is urging young people to use their anger of the past to protect gay rights. Okay, you're fucking retarded then. Right, you absolute imbecile. Like, worry about today. All right, like today. If you want to worry about oppression today, then be nice to Jews. Right, we're the ones who actually face any fucking oppression, not you. Oh no, you're too busy calling for a genocide at the same time saying I'm calling for your genocide, Jews, because I don't like genocide. Really? Sounds like you really like genocide to me. Use the anger of the past to protect gay rights amid growing support for Reform UK, which has pledged to ban transgender ideology in schools. Good. Yes. Again, I think it's fundamentally destructive. Am I saying I want to send transgender people to a concentration camps? No. I'm saying that we shouldn't have chicks with dicks as part of your school curriculum for 5-fucking-year-olds. Right? How does that sound crazy? And the thing is, it doesn't sound crazy, which is why your reform is way ahead. Although I have to tell you, I think Nigel Farage, he's desperately trying to remain as centrist as possible, which I think he's trying not to sound based, right? He's trying not to sound, defiantly right wing, right? And he's trying to divorce himself for all parts of that, so nobody can claim it. But I think he's missed his mark, because if it does take till 2029, 2030 to get a general election, I think there is going to be such a clamoring, crying out for a base voice to say, enough with this bullshit, right? I really think that's what's going to happen, right? And so I think Farage is floated too left, quite frankly. Speaking to the big issue, David said, when Queer as Folk came out in 1999, if you said, what will gay rights be like in 2025? We said, oh, it'll be marvelous. There'll be sunshine just skipping down the street, hand to hand. Gays, queers, lesbian, what it is. And we, right frankly, would like you to tone it down a little bit. Right? Again, that you had to make transgenderism absolutely central to Doctor Who and have the Doctor be super duper gay, right? It was a mistake, mate. It was a mistake. I don't know how to. And it feels like you're trying to validate yourself, right? Look, let's face it. It was a bit of a self-insert. Well, you can say the same thing about Colin Baker being a self-insert for John Nathan Turner, but still, it worked better than this. If I may remind you.
Tell you what, when we both get out of this, let's argue across the stars.
Again, this is not a love story, Russell. This is a sex story. They're not talking about having a loving relationship. They're talking about shoving their dicks up each other's asses, right? Which, again, I understand. A lot of people out there enjoy that. But it's the same thing as, like, if suddenly Perry starts wearing a fishnet stocking heels and a schoolgirl outfit, right? Oh, no, it's just part of the story. Right? Yeah, no, tone down the sexuality. Fucking weirdos. Really?
I like that.
Right, okay, let me just get this straight, Russell. This is a massively budgeted, very important, a very popular TV show, right? Prom Biggs, how you doing? Props, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Oh, man, I bet you're looking forward to Blake 7. I really want to start going back through the Big Finish Blake 7 stuff, right? That's back when Big Finish were good. Anyway, Russell Lee Davis, you're saying there is, like, in 2025, there's gay suppression, right? When this is normal, right? Now it's not playing. I think my computer just rebelled. Oh, there you go. I can't. But again, oh look, a hot chick. We better make her look average. Yeah, no, there's not, Russell. There is no gay rights. You're not being forced into the back of the closet, unless you like to do that, of course. I don't cast aspersions. Fine with it. And as we look down the barrel of reform government, we, the gay community, queer community, should be revolting in terror and anger and action. Again, what consenting adults do in private is fine. No one has any problem with that. It's that you get here, Russell. May I say you? And I said this the other day. You having trouble telling the difference between a gay club like at Manchester on a Saturday night at 3 a.m. and the real world. Okay, we don't do the same things, and that you were doing the same things. And all I know about gay clubs in Manchester at 1 a.m. is from you, right? They're not the same. It's not okay to have Doctor Who snogging a bloke, right? It's really, it's not okay. It's not okay to have a chick with dick be the main character because she's a chick with a dick and no other reason. They're out to get us. The President of America is literally out to get us, is discounting us. No, he's not. He's just saying, Like, there's no need for your sexuality to be the most important thing in the entire fucking universe. There's genuinely no need for it, right? And again, it sounds desperate that you have made it that way, right? He'll be happy with us invisible and gone. No, just like not pushing your constant perversion. And I'm not saying gay sex is constant perversion. I'm saying furries is a constant fucking perversion to our children. And you tried to move the Overton window, and out of politeness we shut up. But then you're destroying society. He'll be happy with us invisible and gone, defunded. Why do you need funding? What heterosexual funding is there? Fuck off. Yeah, defunded, yes. And invisible, we should like him. Everybody's sexual preferences should be invisible in public, right? Yes, amazingly. No, you don't have to broadcast your sexual desires 24/7. Yes, Russell. Can you cope with that inhuman, oppression? Oh, but I want to come and shoot Gatwa's face in public. Why can't I come and shoot Gatwa's face in public? Well, because he just came on his ass. Yeah, but I'm sure he can get me revved up again. Okay, other than that, we don't want to see you coming and shooting Gatwa's face in public. That's basically the bottom line. All right? He'll be happy with us invisible and gone, defunded, completely invisible, if not biologically, or to become as straight as him. He's straight now. No. Again, Russell, you're fucking insane. And the evidence you're fucking insane is all through your last couple of years on Doctor Who, which utterly failed because you're fucking insane. I hope they're prepared to fight. That younger generation has no idea how they got here. That's true. And neither should they. They're busy living their lives, right? I did spend my youth looking back at World War II and think, are you prepared to fight? Because the fight is coming. Davis's next series is Tiptoe, which is about a culture war that has radicalized some people to be into homophobia, transphobia, and prejudice. No one's homophobic, right? People don't think chicks have dicks, right? That's not transphobia, right? And no one's prejudiced. No one's saying, oh, yeah, let's beat up the chicks with dicks. We're just saying, I don't think you're a chick. That's not prejudice. Right? I mean no harm to you whatsoever. But you're out your fucking mind, Russell. I'm very proud of it. It's radical, it's savage, it's hilarious. It'll be shit. And it'll be an embarrassment, right? And it'll be lauded by the intelligentsia chattering classes. But it will fail dismally. And quite rightly, right? Quite rightly, it all fell dismally. It should fail dismally, right? Was that thing? Oh, no, it's over here. I'm on the wrong thing. Disparu waded in this in a way that I really can't argue with him, right? Here, pull this up. There it is. Fine. Rusty Davies is a fucking lunatic. He wrote a series about the culture war because he lost, and it'll be an interesting show. I agree with that, right? Will's supposed to babysit. Victimize me, Daddy. It's a kinky fantasy. He thinks it's fighting World War II. They do. TDS is real. It's very bizarre to see it in foreign countries, though. No, it's like he invalidates Rusty Davies' entire worldview, right? Is RTD anti-vax now? Pretty much. They'll be putting stuff in the jabs to turn the gays straight. Wow, somebody should feed him that, right? You can just kind of look at him and tell if I'm being honest. He has one of those faces, okay? To this day, I wonder if Shooty feels the same way for different reasons. Sheesh, it's almost like they threw holy water on him because with all the screeching, how hard is it to make a show the audience wants? For Russell, freaking impossible, mate. Absolutely impossible. And he just bonkers, bonkers. All right? Now, is this reading from the same thing? Oh, yeah, so now it gets... Actually, let's do this first. Because I think this is very much correct. Spike. Now, who wrote this? Chief political writer. It wasn't Trump who trashed gay rights. It was the trans lobby. Exactly. Oh, exactly. No, again, reality was, Russell, no one had a problem with anybody being gay. Nobody was offended by Captain Jack, right? No one had a problem with anybody being gay. But again, you presented it in a less licentious fashion. Shooty Gatwood, the only thing I've ever seen him play is black and gay, right? Never anything else. Even in Masters of the Air, where he's like a World War II pilot, and I think he only had like 3 lines in it or something ridiculous like that. Rosie Davis, TV writer, famed homosexual, and the smuggest of the lovers. Well, that is true. Yeah, smuggest of the lovers. That's very true. Has hit out at Donald Trump. Apparently, the evil wolf in the White House is trashing gay rights. He's literally out to get us, David said, conjuring up image of Donald Trump lurking around gay bars with a baseball bat. Apparently, Trump wants gay folk gone, defunded, I agree. Completely invisible, biologically and ideally biologically altered to be straight as him. Funniest thing about this rant is it's not fact-like. Delirium, but it's not the fact like delirium, but it's the ghoul. For everything Davis accuses Trump of doing, gays are doing to gays is actually being done by the movement Davis himself supports, the trans lobby. 100%. It was an interview with Big Finish that Davis, best known for his reviving running. Yes. Let rip against Trump. Yeah, and against Reform UK too. Nigel Farage's party, we the gay community, really? Speak for yourself, mate. The queer community, you can have the queer community, should be revolting in terror and anger and action, he says, because what happens in America always happens here. Well, you can only hope, right? And right now we're looking down the barrel of a reform government that looks to ape Trump's hell-bent mission to make gays invisible. Again, everybody's sexual preferences should be invisible in public. It's not just gay. Everybody's sexual preferences should be invisible in public, right? You want to hold hands, you want to kiss, fine. You want to get naked and twerk in front of a 5-year-old? No, that's not fine, right? Gay rights are rapidly and urgently getting worse, he says. It's the hollowness of his dystopic wailing that's most striking. He gives not one example of how Trump or Farage has taken a cudgel to gay rights. How could he? These men are not 1980s style conservatives that butt Leviticus first to canoodling men. They're pretty socially liberal. Indeed, Trump has hosted a Trump Pride Parade rally during his 2020 campaign. He held aloft a gay flag emblazoned with the words LGBTQ for Trump. LGBT for Trump. He wants to oppose same-sex marriage, but then he changed his mind, like Hillary Clinton. Anita Bryant, he ain't, okay? It felt to the liberal media to flesh out Davis's thin warnings about the coming hell for queers. Oh, good, because I wanted to know. The Guardian tells us reform government will ban transgender ideology in schools. Well, 3 cheers for that. Others cited Trump's hostility to queers, which is what? His flurry of executive orders on the trans issue. It is a dizzying moral folly to damn Trump in one breath in a big up trans in the next. For trans has done far more to defund, invisibilize, and biological alter gay people than Trump could ever. Yeah, exactly. We're sick of seeing you. Well, I feel so seen. Well, how about not? How about feeling like everybody else for a little bit? And again, that's not because you're gay. It's because you're a fucking pain in the ass. A relentless pain in the fucking ass. David said wants to defund gay rights groups. Does he? I'll tell you who does. The trans lobby. Witness the ferocious campaign to demonetize against the LGBT Alliance. The brilliant alliance of homosexuals dares to deny the gospel of gender ideology. You see, it's sin of sins, right? That you can't have a todger and be a lesbian. Yeah, lesbians can't stand this stuff. that it may be a biological fact for millennia, but now it's scurrilous blasphemy. The reason they're freaking out because they know they're wrong, right? They know they're standing on nothing. Oh, where was him? These congratulations for defending the truth of sex and the rights of same-sex attraction. LGBT Alliance has monstered by trans alligators. They call it far right. They call the Charity Commission to remove its charity status. Davies himself has joined the hounding to cut out the T. It's to kill. I remember that. Yeah, no, it's not. You're being a drama queen twat, Russell. In a vicious swipe at the LGBT Alliance, right? That's right. He apparently harmful to life for homosexuals to associate away from members of the opposite sex. Trans rage against the LGBT Alliance was far more lunatic assault than on gay rights than any group gay rights group than anything Trump has ever done. As for making gay folk invisible, once again, step forward trans ideology, right? Lesbians in the UK have struggled to host the speed dating nights because fellas in dresses have turned up and said, I'm a lesbian too. No, you're not. Officials in Victoria, Australia, have ruled the lesbian group cannot exclude transgender women. Fuck me, Australia's a lost cause, isn't it? Right? It's totally a lost cause. Denied the right to freely share. Even the BBC, normally drunk on the Kool-Aid of trans, has clocked up the homophobic impact of this ideology. In 2020, it reported that young lesbians who feel compelled to sleep with trans men, because they fear being called transphobic. Yeah, and I bet there's been quite a few young men who have been compelled to suck a dick, right? So they won't be called bigots. You know who used to say that lesbians who should sleep with men? That's what these women really need was a good saying to homophobes. The trans lobby they are the most racist, homophobic, woman-hating, misogynist group of all time. Now, bizarrely, it's an article of faith amongst the self-styled queers. Britain's main LGBT group, Stonewall, said lesbians who refuse to sleep with trans men are akin to sexual racists. One young lesbian told the Bee that queer activists have likened her to Hitler because she refuses to sleep with men pretending to be women. Yeah, I can quite understand that. And now that is how you make gays invisible. Exactly. Induce them into such terror and shame they agree to sleep with members of the opposite sex to avoid the ugly sexual racism. We call such vile pressure on young gays conversion therapy if it was being done by a religious hothead. Yeah, that's a very good point. As for Trump longing to biologically alter gay people and to make them straight as him, is Davis taking the piss here? His beloved trans movement it's his beloved trans movement that does that. Under that ideology, teens who have grown up perfectly healthy homosexuals have been pumped with drugs to correct their sex, and we are living through the brutal mass conversion of untold numbers of young gays. I know this is if you stop and think about it for a second, you run cold. It's horrifying, right? And again, how am I homophobic if I'm genuinely, honestly, if it makes my skin crawl, if I'm generally horrified that young gay people are being browbeaten into having their dicks cut off? I mean, really? Oh, and actually, this is why I was really mad at when they introduced the chick with dick character into Big Finish, into Stranded, right? And had her carry on. Yeah, look, it's really genuinely corrosive to society. And again, everybody on that side they just hate civilization, right? They really do. Become straight with lesbians biologically all to become straight men and gay lads biologically all to become straight women. These lobotomies of our time leading to the homophobic erasure of vast numbers of gay kids. If it wasn't Trump who spearheaded these gross experiments on gay bodies, It wasn't Trump who did that. It was the tea that Davis loves. Oh yeah, we're nearly done. One paragraph to go. So it's clear that now the usurping of truth with the lunacy of self-defined gender has been a disaster for homosexuals. It's been a disaster for the world. It's been a disaster for science, for society. Right, and if one sex isn't real, then neither is same-sex attraction. And again, I'm saying this now. I think there'll be states where same-sex marriage stays, but there'll be states where same-sex marriage doesn't go. Question is, let's say you get married in California, right? Same-sex marriage, and then you go to Alabama, which won't have same-sex marriage. I think they should be forced to legally have this to recognize the marriage, right? I do, right? But because otherwise it's just going to be too confusing. Anyway, the very idea of homosexuality has been savagely trampled under tyrannical boot of the gender fluidity and self-ID. The irony is too much in taking a stand against trans ideology. Trump has done more for the gay folk and their rights than any of the queers who hate him. Well, I can't disagree, right? I can't disagree. Great idol. It wasn't Trump who trashed gay rights. It was the trans lobby. Yes, Russell. Yes. And again, I can't believe we're still getting stories out of him, right? There's a lot going on. Anyway, so Louise Jameson. As I'm sure you know, I am a big fan of Louise Jameson. I mean, not just because she was in Doctor Who, although I would never have seen her had she not been in Doctor Who, right? I just think she's a fabulously talented and intelligent actor, right? Just really, genuinely, very intelligent. I think she finds the authenticity in pretty much everything I've seen her in, right? And I think it takes quite a bit of intelligence to do that. I very much like the Jonathan Carey War Doctor stuff, especially the first few ones that she directed. And he talks a lot about it and how she coached him, right? And I think the performance that came out of it was massively better for it. So I got a lot of respect for Louise Jameson. I genuinely, I think she's a icon of of British entertainment, right? So sadly, so I'm going to make this video as if I'm talking to Louise Jameson, which I hope she is. I'm going to cut this out, right, and address her directly. I probably starting at this point, Lou. Hi, my name's Tzvi Lebetkin. I live in Israel, right? I live in Israel. I know quite a bit about what you tacitly mentioned there. And I wanted to talk to you about it. If you want to get in contact and talk privately, you're more than welcome. You want to come to my channel and talk, you're more than welcome, right? I have absolutely no animosity to you whatsoever. You've entertained me literally my entire life, right? So I just have gratitude to you. And I genuinely wish the best for you and your family and everybody that matters to you. So you posted this yesterday, right? Which I agree with you in part, and I massively disagree with you in part for some quite good reason. How many followers have this Labour government lost following their disgraceful behaviour? Blatantly, okay, so far we agree, right? Absolutely, we 100% agree that the behaviour of this, I mean, like, honestly, Keir Starmer, you can't trust a word that comes out of his mouth. I mean, very obviously, like, lying piece of filth. And they're lying and they're clueless, right? Which, and they're massively incompetent with stupid ideas that are destroying the country, right? And they've lied and betrayed everybody. I agree with you 100%, right? Of all the million things they've done, what's the thing you you zero in on, right? And I don't blame you for this, right? But I think you're making a terrible mistake, and you're being the exact opposite of what you want to be, right? What you want to be, right? And I don't think that. I know that. These are factual statements because I live in Israel. I've been very involved personally with this conflict, as everybody has. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. So disgraceful behavior, blatantly ignoring genocide. Now, I assume you're talking about Israel, Gaza. Although, there are some genuine genocide. So I'm going to start off. It's going to have to take a bit of a run up this, because if I start off and say, look, Lou, genuinely, there is no genocide going on in Gaza, as there is also no policy of starvation by the Israelis, right? You will have one or two responses. This is not my first rodeo, right? You'll have one or two responses. Your first one will, it depends if you like Jews or not. Now, I don't think you dislike Jews, right? Genuinely. I don't think you have a prejudice or a bigotry against Jews, right? But I might be wrong. Like, in my experience, there's about 30% of people who do, right? And my experience is quite varied. But I don't think it, but I've been wrong before many times, right? So that's all I can I can't. But I don't think there's definitely room to give you the benefit of the doubt, right? So if you don't have a bigotry towards Jews, you will probably go, oh, you just don't know what's going on. You've been duped by the evil Netanyahu government, right? Also, you might say it nicer, but that's essentially the first place people go to if they don't dislike Jews. If they do have a bigotry against Jews, they'll say, you lying piece of shit Jew, or, they'll say Zionist, or whatever. They'll say it in code, right? Whenever you have their... whenever you have somebody's what they think is a moral stance question, people get really annoyed. Several years ago, right? I'll give you a very Jewy example, right? Me and the rabbi in my synagogue didn't see eye to eye. I thought he was a scum-sucking heretic, mainly because of his scum-sucking heresy he was doing in public. Right. However, he had a lot of supporters, and they wouldn't hear a bad word against him. So anyway, they lied about me to shut me up. Right. And people who believe those lies, some people believe those who really shouldn't. So anyway, about years later, literally years later, I was sitting in synagogue, and somebody was sitting in front of me. And you have rabbis speaking in synagogue on Friday. It's the thing that happens, right? And I had a friend visiting, and he said, "Oh, who's that?" I said, "Oh, that's the old rabbi. Everybody really liked him, right?" And sadly, he left. And the rabbi didn't see eye to eye, was now unemployed and unemployable, as is right and proper. So which I was roundly blamed for. But if it was down to me, I would have had him stripped naked and shame marked throughout the town for people to throw their feces and vomit on. But that's just one man's opinion, baby. So anyway, I said, oh yeah. So after he left, I said, the synagogue fell to evil, right? And I whispered it. This guy who in front of me, because I bruised his bubble of falsehood, right? He had, he thought he knew everything that happened. And when you question that, people get annoyed, and he freaked out, right? He absolutely freaked out. So when I say to you, Lou, the narrative you believe in, and I think, again, I'm going to parrot it for you. I think it's something like this, that evil white colonizers, right, from Europe, refugees from Europe, were given free rein to go into Israel, and then they chased out the peaceful indigenous population, and any that stayed, they abused and persecuted all this time. Also doing a slow genocide, and kept them with different rights, and had an apartheid state. I believe that's what you believe, and the reason I believe you believe that is because that's all you've heard for the last 50 years, right? That's all you heard because, well, when the Jew-hating the Hamas of the world started this tactic, which isn't a new one, Israel was really stupid and say, well, what they're saying about us is so detached from reality, like we're performing a genocide. All right, it's there's no point even responding to it. Right, and that was a massive mistake, right? A massive mistake that didn't look at history. Now, why is it important to look at history? Right? Again, Lou, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that you don't like Jews. I'm genuinely not. But the statement you put here on Twitter is anti-Semitic, and I'll explain why I think it is. Now, what is anti-Semitism, right? Anti-Semitism, well, okay, more the question is, what is the primary form of anti-Semitism? And it's called blood libels. And, in the Middle Ages, people would, oftentimes, the priest of a town would say the Jews are using Christian baby blood to make matzahs, these flatbreads that Jews use in their religious practice on Passover, right? When I say use in religious practice, nothing weird, we just eat them. Like the Christian version of it is the sacrament, right? I always wondered, who makes those tablets. But anyway, wouldn't it be funny, if that's like a big Hasidic Jewish firm, right? Makes crucifix and sacrament tablets. That would make me laugh. Okay, that would be funny. Anyway. They would go to lengths as far as murdering a child, a baby, and leaving in the synagogue. I'm sure you probably heard the famous story of the Golem of Prague. But in that story, you probably don't know the story. What the Golem had to do was smuggle out the body of a dead child that had been put there by the local priest to make it completely evil, right? And people believed it with every fiber of their being, right? For a couple of reasons. Again, you have about 30% of people, maybe more, maybe less, but 30% of people, in my experience, don't like Jews, right? And if you hear something negative about Jews, they will totally leap. Owen Jones, great example, right? Jeremy Corbyn, fantastic example. Very, very, very traditional anti-Semites, right? So and when they hear anything about negative about Jews, they will scream it to the rooftops. And then you have people like you, I think people of good conscience, who hear the same things. And you go, well, this is disgraceful, right? This is absolutely disgraceful, right? That is how anti-Semitism has worked through the years, right? This is, again, saying Israel is performing a genocide is indistinguishable from saying using Christian babies in their religious ritual, right? So let's just talk about a few facts. Like generally speaking, when you're performing and there is a genocide going on near here in Syria to the Druze, right? Which the Israeli army, we're fighting a 5-fronted war right now. I'm doing very, very well, thank you very much. We're fighting a 5-fronted war, right? And we took time out to go and rescue the Druze that are being massacred, raped, and murdered in Syria. Essentially, because we have a large Druze community here in Israel, right? And I mean, the idea Israel's an apartheid state is just absolutely ridiculous, right? Again, Druze are not Jews. Druze are Arabs, Muslims, Christians, right? They're not Jews, right? And everybody has the same rights, right? The only right is different. It's called the right of return. And like pretty much many countries have a similar blood right to return to your homeland, right? So by the way, the idea that we are foreign invaders, no, you're thinking the Jews split into several directions when they were exiled from Israel a couple of thousand years ago. We've maintained a presence here ever since, but there's been a branch that went through Europe, who you probably perceive as Jews. Another branch that went through Spain and more swarthy climes. But if you walk the streets of Israel, you'll see people, basically brown people, right? You can't, if you go to an Arab city or you go to a Jewish city, the people look roughly the same, right? It's the idea that we came in and football's NBA is nonsense, right? Absolute nonsense. But actually that's a good place to start. A fundamental claim of Palestinian oppression is called the Nakba, right? They call it the Nakba. We call it the Yom Ha'atzmaut, right? So somebody the Golem Pad made a cameo appearance in the first Vampire the Masquerade computer game. Really? I didn't know they made a computer game of that. Anyway, was the Nakba, which is in 1948. The peaceful Palestinians were here. And then the Jews were let off the leash by the British, and they were evil devil men that raped and murdered women and children indiscriminately, so they ran screaming. absolute nonsense. No, we were the reason why we were supported by the left wings back then, right, is because we were the underdogs, right? We were surrounded by Arab armies who were all vastly more better armed than us, and that we survived at all was a miracle, right? Which is probably why the battles are not taught at West Point, because they don't make any sense, right? I mean, that was over a few years ago. I don't know if they started doing that now, but it's much more likely that the humiliation the Arab world and again, do you know anything about Arab culture? Right, it's the humiliation that they experience not destroying the Jews, right? Not what, and I think the British plan was to let the Jews come to Israel, right? Have them all be here, and then the Arab nations would wipe us out, finish us off, and you wouldn't have to deal with any refugee problem anymore. And any Jews that make you feel guilty will be gone, right? That's what I think the British plan was when Churchill was out of power. So anyway, I digress. It's a myth. It never happened, and you got to understand they lie and lie and lie and lie and lie all the time, right? The latest lie has been a particularly despicable one. They said that Israel is inducing famine in Gaza. Again, look, the narrative you believe, Lou, right? Clearly you believe is that the Jews are evil. And when I say Jews, you might go, no, Zionists. Most Jews vehemently support Israel because most Jews see have a more balanced view, right? Again, look, I think you probably still trust the BBC, right? And look, BBC, what a sad shadow of its former self that is, right? It really is. Used to be fantastic. Used to be, and when I was growing up, it was the idea of defunding the BBC was something that be abhorrent to me, right? Tenko. I mean, like, so many great things came out, right, of the 80s, the 90s. Really clever, challenging, and entertaining. I don't want to say the word content. Oh God, no. Programs, movies, whatever. But it's just, you can't trust the BBC. They lie and they lie and they lie. So the latest lie has been particularly disgusting. It's been this one, right? New York Times. They have a picture of this horribly emaciated child on the front, saying, "Those evil Jews, evil Netanyahu, have starved the Gaza, and this is what it looked like." And again, any person not moved by a picture like this, there's something wrong with them. We all agree with you, but blaming us, you got to understand this is beneath what we would do as a nation, right? There is virtually no one who would support this in Israel, right? No one would support this. Malicious evil torture, right, of children, right? But so the New York Times is sick. Their child in their famine in Gaza photo is Mohammed al-Matakwid. He has a muscular disorder. They knew that this wasn't taking place. This photo wasn't taken in Gaza either. They knew that. They didn't care. They want to make Israel look like monsters, disgusting, dangerous, and deranged, and it is. Right, you've got to understand how deeply evil this is, right? How much they want to manipulate you to say that, it's evil Jews. Oh my God, you're not doing enough. I mean, honestly, do you think David Lammy, who is a racist and a moron who hates Jews, right? Do you think he if he could do something to damage Israel, he absolutely would? Right, they're going to recognize the Palestinian state. Well, that's really going to make things a lot worse, right? See, this is what I'm sure you saw this as well. This is what starvation actually looks like. Like this guy has been kidnapped. He's been in the tunnel. Look how thin he is. Look at the hand that's giving him it, right? And that's the thing. Yeah, there was enough aid to go into Gaza to feed 2 million people for 2 years, right? So what's going on, right? What's going on? Again, this was a hoax, right? This came out very recently, so I think it was revealed in a German paper
The Palestinian force statement of famine in Gaza is collapsing. The Bild, right, that's a German publication, published a comprehensive investigation revealing the hungry children and the empty pots are all staged, and Famish Salim Absor is simply ill. Look at him beside a well-fed family. So, yeah, look. What type of sick fucks will try and con you to support a genocide of Jews, which is what you're talking about, by showing starving children, right? See, look, this is when he had a muscular issue, right? It is an AI photo, right? So, but what for, right? What's going on? Why would they stoop so low? Well, here's the thing. He who controls the aid controls everything. And 85 to 89% of the aid that's gone into Gaza, you know where that's gone? It was stolen by Hamas. In 2024, they made $500 million by stealing the aid. Do you think the average Gazan gets that? No, it doesn't, right? No, it doesn't. Yeah. And now, because of your outcry, because you said, oh man, look out, we can't support this evil thing. It's right back to we're right back to where we were. We had a distribution system going on where people could actually get the food. And I know you were told that the evil Israeli soldiers were sniping at them and making kill boxes to kill them whenever they could. They're lying to you. Do you remember at the beginning of the war? Probably you don't. When the BBC and most of the media said, oh, Israel has bombed a baby hospital, killing 500 babies. Only they didn't, right? It was a misfired Islamic Jihad rocket that landed in a parking lot, an empty parking lot, causing no damage, no casualties whatsoever, right? But again, that's not the aberration, Lou. That's the norm, right? And this is the norm now in Gaza, right? Because of people like... Yeah, this is the Hamas. They stolen the aid. How do you think that's going to work out for the citizens of Gaza, right? How do you think it's going to work out, right? I mean, you wring your hand. You go, oh, look at the... yes, this is the reason, right? This is the reason. And, you know, again, you accuse us of genocide. No one has achieved a lower civilian death rate than Israel. We even according to Hamas numbers, which are bullshit, we've killed, I think 1.7 now or 1.2, something like that, civilians for every cystic fibrosis, as Peter, yes, as well, for every enemy combatant, right? Now that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. That worked out to 60,000 people dead. That's a horrible and horrific thing to happen, right? You British. Right, your military kills between 4 and 8 civilians for every enemy combatant, right? And that's the realities of war. Yeah, if you want to worry about genocide, worry about the Druze genocide in Syria right now. It's disgraceful what's going on, right? It's absolutely disgraceful, right? And this isn't whataboutism, right? This is the reality of life. And again, both my boys, my children. And I have one daughter who was also in the army. We're on the front lines in Gaza for years, like literally 2 years, like right when it started. And for you to say that they're monsters who are capable of genocide. And I'll tell you something else, right? Right after October 7th, my older son, who is a commander in the tank corps, they begged him to stay. They offered him promotion, and they drove like a truck full of gold bricks up to him and said, no, take it, just stay. He's like, no, I want to go to school, right? Whatever. But yeah, people were talking right after October 7th when we started to work out how terrible it was, right? And my daughter, my older daughter, says, we should just bomb it and turn the whole place to glass, right? And my son, who's been in combat, right, who's nearly died more than once, right, because of this bullshit, right? He says, no, we could do that, but we can't do that, right? This is because it's wrong. And this is the character of people that you are defaming, right? Which is the most traditional form of anti-Semitism in the world, right? The evil Jews are killing Christian babies to make their Passover. Was it their Passover matzahs they're called, right? Here we go. I'll show you some more. This is from this. Right, this is from Hamas's own feed, right? Again, do you think that's going to be gone and they're going to give them out to little old ladies? No, they're selling it to the highest bidder and getting rich on it. These people are scum. These people are lower than scum. All right, they share no value with you whatsoever. Here's some video of them staging hunger pictures. One second. See, they're all like piled in there, and that's why they're taking the pictures. But look what's going on right across the screen. Over there, there's no famine. It seems to be everything's fine, isn't it? And again, Lou, it's not an insult, because genuinely, Lou, I have nothing but love and respect for you. Really, genuinely, I hope you believe that. And you don't think this is their stick, right? Look what they're doing. They're manipulating you to hate Jews, to call for the genocide of Jews. Because look, let's be fair. Why is this going on in Gaza right now, right? And it's essentially your fault, right? Your people who share your politics fault. See, look, that's over there. This is it. The whole thing's bloody staged. But again, the trouble is, nobody ever sees the truth after the. When it breaks, right? You're yeah. This is all the food in Gaza. Again, enough food for 2 million people for 2 years, right? And yeah, I'm not going to say there is August 6th, right? I'm not going to say that there's not hardship in Gaza. Obviously, there is. But do you think we want to have this war? Do you think I want my children in harm's way? And it's not, when I say harm's way, that's not just an expression. That's something that's actually real, right? It's not just thinking, do you think I want that? Let me tell you, nobody fucking wants that. I went, best part of 2 years. Like my younger son now finally is out the army. I went the best part of 2 years without sleeping a night. I still don't really, right? Like, what? Look. Why? What happened to Gaza? Like, how did it become this way? Well, again, hand-wringing liberals, right? And look, Lou, I hope you're honest enough to understand what I'm saying here. It's that, you're what normies will call a lovey, right? A lovey actor, right? And lovey actors, most actors, they have a mono view of reality, right? And with very little nuance. Oh, Daniel's evil. He's super Hitler. Donald Trump, super duper Hitler. Jeremy Corbyn is Jesus, but just better, right? But Hamas are just good freedom fighters. Defending their land from evil occupiers. Again, in 2005, Israel, ethnically cleansed all the Jews from Gaza and around Gaza for them to set up a state with. And we're supposed to have a state with close economic ties, and it should have been fucking luxury, right? We have the high-tech industry right next to it. They shouldn't be dripping in money. It should be paradise. But no, they hate Jews. Like, that's what you've got to get through your head. They hate Jews, and they want all Jews to die, and they will make their lives unlivable, right? Just to say, look how evil the Jews are. Look what they're doing to us, right? And they do that to manipulate you. And why do they do that to manipulate you? Because it works, right? Right? The promised Riviera that we should have had, right? And it would have been fantastic, because let me tell you, I don't know. I'm assuming you've traveled widely around the world. If you have, there is no people that do hospitality like the Arabs, right? Arabs are the world's... Arab hospitality puts the rest of the world to shame, right? It absolutely does. It's just stunning. It's fabulous. Like, if they had any sense, They would redevelop Bethlehem into be a Christian visitors tour, a Christian tourist center. And again, Bethlehem is a shithole, right? It should be dripping with money. They all should be living in luxury. And you know what? I would be happy for all the Gazans to be rich and happy and contented, right? My life's better for that. Everybody's life is better for that. And you say we want to do a genocide. By the way, if you want to say if we're doing a genocide, how's the population going up? How are we so shit at it, right? If we're doing a genocide, right? I think it's the same reason that David Lammy can't say we're doing a genocide, because we're not doing a genocide, right? And again, Lou, you're a lovey in an older demographic, right? Again, you probably put credence in corporate news, in CNN, in BBC, in New York Times. No, don't do that anymore, because that's why you're on the wrong side of this, right? And look at all the politics that you've vehemently supported, right? And look what it's done. England is a shithole now. England, like London, is a shithole because of your bonkers politics. And look, you're welcome to have them, it's your right. But just understand, London is a shithole. Women can't walk the streets. And listen, I can't, listen, I haven't been back to London for England for about 10 years, 10 years. I don't want to go because I can't go back now. Firstly, it's not there. I grew up in London. I used to go to school in Camden Town. I used to get the train up to the West End. Used to go to the theatre all the time. Used to go to movies at the West End, hang out at Forbidden Planet bookshop. I loved London. It was a wonderful city, a cosmopolitan city, right? With so many differences of everybody living together, right? It's a colourful city. It's a shithole now. It's a violent, dangerous shithole because of your politics, right? And I'm guessing it's your politics by your statement over here. You know, don't trust yourself that much, is what I'm saying. Because your basic premise that Israel is performing a genocide is utterly detached from reality. So listen, if you would like to get in contact, I will answer any question you have as openly and honestly as you want. If you want to come on my channel, I will, I'll always be a truth with you. I have no animosity to you. Again, it generally pains me to see you fall in the trap of becoming that which you oppose, right? Because I think you're better than that. Generally speaking, I really do. You know, did I explain I grew up in the UK? I think I just did, didn't I? said Lonnie. The accent kind of gives it away, right? But yeah, and listen, that you're disappointed with Starmer. Yeah, he's like closest to a fascist I've ever seen. I mean, people keep screaming. I guess how Donald Trump's a fascist. I'm sorry, I've never seen anything as fascistic as Starmer and his mob, right? Oh, and it's going to be the last time Labour's in power for a generation, probably more. Callahan was better, right? Callahan was genuinely better. And I think if we wait till 2029 or whenever the next election has to be, I think Nigel Farage is going to be too left wing to clinch it, right? That's the way the world's, because people do not like your politics. Right, your politics are based on a completely irrational idea that ignores cultures around the world. Say we're all basically the same. We all have the same values. No, we don't. Again, you're talking about somebody who lives in the Middle East who has a large circle of Arab friends. Right? I know what I'm fucking talking about. There are massive cultural differences. Right? Cultural differences mean, again, women cannot walk the streets safely in London now because of legal and illegal immigration. They have a very different attitude. They also feel, by the way, that it's meritorious to outsmart someone, right? So when they come and they get through these incredible benefits from your Starmer, right? Don't get me wrong, the Tories were equally bad, right? The Tories were as bad. But the Tories were awful, right? The Tories were absolutely awful, and that's why they were voted out of power, right? That's why Starmer was prime minister, not because they won an election, because the Tories lost an election. The reason they lost an election is because the civil service is running the country and not the electorate, right? And that's essentially the reason. But anyway, look, don't trust your politics. Just don't. They're all wrong. I mean, you've been wrong about everything for a long time. And again, I just don't understand how actors are so relentlessly political nowadays and so relentlessly wrong about everything, and just, generally speaking, destroy their careers and destroy their profession. Honestly, the promotion for movies this year was so much better than I've seen in recent years. And I think this year has been the best year for movies in about 7-8 years. Right, where Tom Cruise, David Cornsweet, they just said, no politics. We just want to have a fun time, and that's something you actors have forgotten. Right, you can pontificate as much as you want on politics. The rest of the world laughs at you. Right, the rest of the world thinks you're morons. Right, watch what's it called again? The South Park guys. They did Team America World Police, right? Where you had at the end, you had a bunch of movie stars going to North Korea and being stupid, right? You have such a wonderful job. You get to entertain people. You get to help people relax after a hard day's work, right? That's incredible. So you should be so happy and so proud to do. Right, and not waste your time screaming that Nazis are fucking everywhere, because they're not. I say, oh no, they might be everywhere, but they're on your side of the political fence, right? This has been going on for a good 10-15 years. That the Nazis and Hitler were somehow rebranded as right wing, even though they were socialists. Right? In my personal experience, the left wing is where bigotry, oppression, and anti-Semitism lives today. Where does genocide not live? In Israel. And why does it not live in Israel? Because we would not support it. We would not condone it. And we know what's going on. Because there is no separation between government and population, right? Because we're all part of the army. We all have kids in the army. We're at one family, right? And while I would say there's absolutely no, nothing bad going on at all, compared to you British, compared to the Americans, compared to any of the Arabs, we are so light years more moral than you. Oh, that's really the worst thing, being lectured to by your moral inferiors, which is what you are, right? I am sorry, Lou. Again, you literally, there's no difference between you and a pitchfork-wielding yokel from 1782 driving Jews and murdering them out their towns and murdering them, right? For exactly the same reason, right? And again, Lou, I love you. I'm telling you this because I love you, right? And it's I really hope you listen to this and it makes an impression. Show your friends, right? And by the way, I just want to advertise. I have a service that I offer to actors, right? It depends how big an actor you are, but for a cheap monthly cost, I can monitor your communications and tell you when you're being arseholes, right? Do you remember when, again, lots of great actors did that video apologizing for racism or something? They just look like douchebags. They really do, right? If you or any of your chummy, lovey actor buddies want to not look like douchebags, get in contact. Low monthly cost. We and for you, I would even offer a discount. Although you, generally speaking, don't do douchebaggy things. Other than this, okay? Other than this, fine. It's been fun chatting. Okay. There you go. That was a good item. Where are we going to go to next? Let's have a look at... Oh, hang on. We can go to Pocket Mags. Doing. I got a little bit surprised when I saw a new Doctor Who magazine today. We'll do that Doctor Who followed by SFX. Right, I did not expect that. I thought it was coming out next week. Then it turns out it's a special edition. Oh, look, Jodie's back. Yay. Yeah, everyone's happy now. Not a bad cover, quite frankly. I'm probably going to get Alaxim. I keep bitching about how much I don't like Big Finish so much anymore. I'm probably going to get Alaxim. Cecil McCoy and a Dalek join fans in Ukraine. Oh, that sounds fun. Season 13 collection exclusive. I'm fine. We'll go over that. The Lost Story of the Seventh. I am actually, very much looking forward to that. By the way, where was this thing? I saw. Where was it? Hang on. I saw Shooty Cat was going to a convention. Is it over here? Yeah. So, firstly, this convention, Flux, is the one that John Barrowman wasn't invited to, and he was really kind of mad about it, I think. But I'm really surprised Shooter's going to a convention. Is this his first one he's done? I don't know. 3 doctors team up. Christopher Eccleston, Jodie Whittaker, and Shooty Gatwa. Headline Flux in 2028. Well, I'll tell you, there's 2 very good reasons not to go to that. I mean, really? Do you think there's much of a demand? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Chris Gatwa was the first doctor in the 2005 revival. Shooty Gatwa, blah, blah, blah. There's a host of other stars. In fact, Mandip Gill. Well, Jodie's going. That makes sense. There's also Annette Badland been in way too much stuff, frankly. Yanto, Torchwood Crew, Ramsing. Fadi El Sayed. He was really heavily tipped to get the role of the Doctor, right? I guess he fancies Shooty more. It wasn't more guess, but okay, I am just fascinated. Like, man, there is nothing that will keep me away from a convention more than Shooty Gatwa and Jodie Whittaker. Could you imagine what the fans there are going to be like? Oy vey. Stay away from them. They're fucking insane. They're bonkers. Anyway. Man. This was just shit. It was just shit. Doink. Oh, speaking of just shit, I mean, like, honestly, nothing says business school graduate than circuit breaker, right? Oh, corporate stupidity. It's okay. I mean, like, when's this stuff going to finally die out, right? I mean, how much stuff are they going to not sell before they go, nah, we should not do that anymore, right? When's it going to finally die out? I do not know. Was it 3 new Target novelizations based on 2-part Doctors mentioned the 9th of 10th that have been announced as solicitation. Alien London is going to be done by Joseph Lister. Then The Impossible Planet is by Matthew Jones, who I think he had the screen credit on it. And Time of the Angels is written by Jenny T. Colgan, who novelized Christmas Invasion. Look, honestly, I really wish I read the Target books when I was a kid. And I regret that I didn't. Again, really, what's Perry most well known for, right? Is it a flat chest? I don't think so. Oh, let's look at this. I mean, like, they pad the numbers so wildly now, don't they? Like, it went from 2.71 to 3.13 over from going from the 7-day to 28. I mean, like, at some point you got to call bullshit. Enough already, right? And you get a first week, right? But okay, these are epically low numbers. They got the series cancelled. Let's see how Tom Spilsbury can spin it. We can now present the full breakdown of rating statistic for the most recent series of Doctor Who, which includes 28 figures for all episodes. The average, on average, each episode increased by a further 390,000 who watched it after the initial 7-day period. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's an bot army just watching it, right? I would not be surprised at all. But within the first 28 days of transmission, this means that the average 28-day figure across the 8 episodes was 3.56 million. viewers, slightly down from the 4.17 shooting ago. It was first. Yes, because people don't like queer Doctor Who. Right? That doesn't mean they hate gay people. They don't like queer Doctor Who. Right? It doesn't mean they hate gay people. They just don't like queer Doctor Who. While the raw numbers are down, the chart position of Doctor Who are still respectable. No, they're fucking not respectable. I mean, no, they're fucking not. Yeah, I'm sorry that you've completely destroyed the entire landscape of television in England. I mean, especially the BBC, who like can't do anything to entertain anybody for the life of them. Fucking useless. They are. They're fucking useless. They're not fit for purpose, and boy, would I let them be defunded. As we pointed out a couple of issues ago, the decline in series ratings is broadly in line with broadly, but far more exaggerated. With very few programs seeming to attract 5 million viewers. Yeah, because they're all shit. Right? They're all queer shit. Right? What's the thing? What was it? From Quickly, Strictly Come Dancing. There was something where was it? From Quickly Come Dancing. Somebody sent me something about the BBC. Oh, actually, it'll be at Radio Times. Let's go to Radio Times. Radio Times. Something about Quickly Come Dancing. They have a drag queen. I wonder if I write if I search drag queen, will I just get inundated with stories? Probably. Drag queen. Let's see how much comes up. Yeah, they're really excited that they certainly come to us and confirms Drag Race UK fan favorite in the 25 night. Yeah, I'm sorry. Again, most people are not up for this, mate. Right? I know you keep trying to tell us, no, totally normal, nothing weird about it. Nobody really believes that, right? Nobody really believes that. Not even Taste believes it, right? Yep. The decline in TV runs is an industry-wide problem because you fucked your industry in the fucking arse. Bloody morons. That's why. Fucked it bloody. With the fact that when you factor in the funding crisis, which is affecting the whole business, there's a lot of uncertainty. Well, again, because you made shit, right? Don't make shit and things will be better. And when I say you made shit, again, your job is to entertain people and help them relax after a hard day's work. That's your fucking function, right? Entertain and educate. And Tenko, I said earlier, great example. What we can say is that fair to ascertain the BBC will be examining the data extremely closely and will be cheered by the news that Doctor Who still managed to attract a younger demographic than fuck off, it doesn't. Oh man, you guys just lie about it. Who's reading the books on tape? Read by Claire Corset and Michelle Sand. Okay, yeah, I don't think you can keep shooters' attention up long enough. Who Star Letter, blah 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 blah. So let's see what's over here. Oh yeah, Shooty on the One Show saying, "Oh, I'm done, rather see through," claiming that it's good to be a hot Asian or whatever where she's from. Are you ready for Russell Davidson movie? Matt Lucas, they were on quiz. Russell Davidson. No, I'm not ready for that. Proteus new detective drama bookish, which I was really bored by. Mark Gaz talks about his career. The Parks and Cons YouTube channel takes us around the Black Archives at San Diego Comic Con. Man, that looks so naff. It really did look so naff, didn't it? There will be no battle here. This is actually quite a nice little story. Svesnokoy rolls into Kiev to offer local fans a brief respite from the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Dalek's own man performers Mickey Lewis share the journey. Talking to real wars. Listen, look, again, I'm sure Svesnokoy is another lovely actor who opposes the genocide in Gaza. Right? I am, even though there's none there, I'm sure he is. I still love him. What can you do? What can you do? Their guide looked pretty tasty, blimey. This sounds actually kind of like a nice little story. Drags on a little bit, man. But okay. And sounds like a nice uplifting story. This interests me, right? Take more towards for you. I think this is the last lost story for Sylvester McCoy. Probably the last lost story. Alaxon, right? This was one where he was supposed to regenerate at the end, I think. So yeah, I will be watching that with interest. When is it out? I don't know. So this is just okay. This is a desperate space filler, right? This is the woman who was the double for the Queen in Silver Nemesis, which I believe they cut out of the new Pete Mateague version. Somebody in the chat said they're doing a re-edit on Brain and Morvis. I have to tell you, Pete Mateague, there's a lot of stuff he's done that I haven't liked. His re-edits on season 7 I found excellent. I genuinely did, especially Solorians, right? Really, really worked for me. But like, why? Honestly, I don't like 3 pages on this like walk-on extra that's been cut out of the latest version of it. I mean, really? So I thought this was the next issue of Doctor Who magazine. I didn't really realize this was a special. Not interested, really, quite frankly. I know the stuff like the back of my hand. Let's have a look. Okay, so we're not doing this today, but I think close to when it comes out, we will definitely go do a deep dive in the what's it called again? In the season 13 box set. Right, which again, these are all excellent. Every one of them is just freaking excellent. Right, let's see. Planet Evil. Is there any new features? Return to 13 documentary. Charles and continuity. Nothing really of that interesting. Pyramids of Mars. Let's see. They must have new effects on it. Omnibus repeat. Tales of the TARDIS. Fuck off you. Tales of the TARDIS. Right, I have to tell you that cultural appropriation bullshit. Fuck off. Optional replacement effects. That'd be interesting. Okay. I like the new effects. Mass show Dr. Ware for symmetry. Okay. No idea. Is that the one? I think that's the one where they put out a bunch of plates to work out a boundary or something. I bet that is. Man, that's what I wonder if it is. Android Invasion. What's the new features on that? Audio commentary, Tom Baker. Okay, so words within words. Life at Ian Martin. I bet that's good. Man, I bet that's good. Generation Game from SO Broadcast on 22nd November 1975. I should take it they have Doctor Who people in it. Pete Murray's Opening House. Exit from the BBC Two program. Okay, I've never heard of it. Again, we'll go over this in more detail. Richard Bignall. Okay, you're excited. Richard Bignall is very excited by this. New features, Omnibus repeat. Behind the Sober reduction. Okay. Philip Maddock, villain for all seasons. Audio commentary. Nothing that but mind blowing on there. And Seeds of Doom. This one really doesn't need. What's it going to? It doesn't need new effects. Kento's Seaside Special excerpt from Crackerjack. More Crackerjack. Okay. Outtake from part 5. Who's in the Paul Versailles, Emily Cook, and Matthew Waterhouse on the Escape Room set? Escape Room, The Fourth Doctor, Michael E. Bryant, Toby Adoki, Matthew Waterhouse. Blimey. There's nobody there connected with the Fourth Doctor. I bet they couldn't get they couldn't get Tom Baker to agree. So yeah, so this is a report from San Diego Comic-Con, and boy, was this naff. The Black Archives that nobody gives a shit about. Man, this is a weird dedication. Did people actually dress up like this, or was this is staff? Man. Prop magic. Honestly, dude, you are scraping the bottom of the bloody barrel right now. 4 pages on that. This is like I really want to get into, but I got to do the well before I do Lucky Day. Lucky Day was fucking awful. Right, Into the Song Contest, also fucking awful. Which World Reality Tour? Fucking awful. University Challenge, what's this? Carl de Santos takes us on a trip around 23 universities and 44 matches of the Ultimate Doctor Who quiz. Okay, that sounds like, although again, I'm scared of like younger fans nowadays because they're all fucking weirdos. Because Doctor Who's been unwatchable shite for years. Fine. This month in 1963 and 1975. What, there wasn't enough going on in 1975? Blimey. Okay. You can't kill a stone. Weeping Angels are the creepiest villains, but Christian Dornack says we should take them seriously. Shooter's still in the comic strip. Fuck off, Shooty. Although the artwork is notably better. Tell you, the artwork's been really, really dodgy, but it's got a lot better. Okay. Oh, I still wouldn't read it. Fact or Fiction, Dark Water and Death in Heaven. I thought this is just Dark Water. Probably just it's a show that really didn't work, that really should have done. Like Sidemen crawling out the graves. That should have been awesome. But it wasn't. It was just meh. I like the reveal as Missy as the Master. Zero beyond zero interest in Smith and Sullivan. Like absolutely zero interest in it. The snare, it was meh. It was meh. I love what's it called again? The Eric Roberts Master. I'm out of Dark Gallifrey. You just really screwed that one up. And audio drama, the Death and Life of River Song, Dissolution of Time. Is this a full cast audio drama? I guess so. Prices it if it is. And you get this new set is by Jonathan Morris, a good writer, and Dave. I don't know. I've lost all interest. They've like sucked. I mean, I'm really on the fence about this one. The David Bradley one. I'm really on the fence about that. I don't know. I might illegally download it to listen to it first because I do not trust them. Right? Genuinely do not trust them. Look, the annual. I mean, like, really? Who could not work out the Doctor Who would be cancelled with this weird queer shit? Yeah, and it is weird queer shit. Doctor Who's wearing a fucking dress, mate. Pull it together. All right. This issue, World War II, 8 years after the end of hostilities, we look at the first three Doctors' war record. Why? And then, okay, this is going to be comedy gold. Oh, Keith Thump, come back here. Jodie Whittaker, the Doctor in Yaz. It's not tidy, it's not control, but it's love in its purest form. No, it's not love in its purest form. You don't love each other, right? And they also meet to Christian with Joe Cornish. And so it's a real Jodie episode next month. Jodie issue. Fuck me. That's like waving the white flag and saying it's all over, isn't it? The question is, will Doctor Who magazine survive, and Big Finish, will they survive the disillusion of Doctor Who? Like, how long do they have? I don't know. Okay, how many readable pages we have this week, this month? I'll count that one because I read it there. 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, not doing bad. And then you got all this 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, they got 21 readable pages. I think it's a recommend then. Man, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Right? 27, 28, 29. I'm just worried if I do that, read that, it's going to be some insane queerness inserted into it somewhere. Right? Because there always is. I would probably read this. Factor 29, 35, 36. I'll read 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 40. Okay, 43 pages out of 84. That's the score for me. right? Also, it's how much is it if you buy a subscription? Hang on. Go over here. So if I do Doctor Who magazine. Doctor Who magazine. Doctor Who. The TARDIS. I mean, I wish I knew how much I was paying for it. So 12 issues for £54, which is do the math. 55, not do 54.99, divided into 12. Is it 12 or 13? Still, it's $4.60 an issue. It's better than $7.50. $4.60 an issue is still a bit much, quite frankly.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.